Liz Campbell here from Dynamic Intention with something that I've cooked up especially for, well, obviously if you're watching this, it's because you are either in between jobs or you're looking for a different job, or maybe you're at work. I know at the moment, the current situation, I'm going to say star date 27th of the 7th, 2020. Okay, so we are currently in the throes of this global pandemic as I'm making this. Whatever you may think of the pandemic, you know, whether you think that COVID exists or not, or whatever, you know, I'm not really particularly interested in getting into that. At the end of the day, reality is as you expect it to be. There's so much more about this subject I could talk about at a different time, but like that's not relevant to what I want to do today. It's obvious, it's come to my attention that there's an awful lot of uncertainty within the populace about employment, money, etc., etc. Obviously jobs being like a really kind of stellar thing. And with this piece of work, when I decided that I wanted to create something that I could put here on my YouTube channel that's like a combination of something that's going to really, really help those of you who are having some issues right now, whilst also being a brilliant demonstration of the kind of work that I'm selling in my digital shop at the moment. But like obviously like my digital shop covers all sorts of things, but this works in the same kind of way. So basically what I'm going to be doing, the piece of work that I'm going to be delivering to you in this video is something that you can come back to and run again. And I will also say that it's a good idea after you've run it, allow it to integrate, and then the next day muscle test yourself. And I'll demonstrate how to muscle test. I do have a muscle testing video on here, but demonstrate how to muscle test. First, you need to make sure that you're nice and hydrated, because that way your body will give you accurate responses. Now, you can either, I'm going to stand up here and do a demonstration. You can either muscle test this way by sway testing. Okay, so you get my side right. You can see what, right, I'm going to say, show me yes. See that I can tip forwards. I've got bare feet, by the way. Show me no. Okay, so you check on that, and then you can use the sway test. I'll show the finger pull in a minute too. You can literally, after this, test on it is necessary or beneficial for me to run or to watch the Job Finder Energy Work to Magnetise a Job Offer video again and receive the energy work within it. Okay, so I'm getting a no for me because obviously I don't need it. But for you, you might get a yes, basically. And if you get that, then you watch it again, okay? And you can watch it as many times as you need to. All of the work in my digital shop that I put up, basically, it's all designed, it is literally all designed to be used as a course. So you buy one piece of energy work and everything's based on a shifting algorithm. I'm quite clever with the way I design things. I've been doing this for a while now. Each time you run it, you're going to get, if there's a few layers of things that need dealing with, each time you run it, you're going to get like the next layer being dealt with. Okay, now for some of you it might take a bit longer with stuff because there might be more layers, or it might be that you've got some programming going on that means that you can only deal with things slowly. I mean, there's all sorts of reasons why some people respond very quickly to things, other people take longer. It is usually down to programming. This is one of the things I go into with one-to-one clients when I'm working with them, or with group stuff if we're focusing on stuff like that, basically, because you can't, you know, there's stuff I can do to help speed up the timing in which things land. Ultimately, bottom line of all of this is that everyone's an individual. Everyone responds differently. It might not do everything on the first take, so come back and watch it again if that's the case. Use muscle testing. The other way you can do it, okay, so I've got my fingers like this. You see, like, this is yes, no, yes, no. You kind of get, like, I've been doing this for a really long time. past 5 years, near as damn it. And so I'm very seasoned with this. The finger pull tends to be a bit less accurate for people who don't use muscle testing often than the sway test. So I'd recommend the sway test, but if you know what you're doing, the finger pull is good. Like I said, hydration, and you do a test thing. So show me yes, show me no. Okay, and then I can test on something really random like, okay. I'm just trying to think something, anything. Basically, what you want to do is you want to use statements rather than questions. When you ask a question in your muscle testing, what you're doing is you're opening up for your ego to be able to respond. You're literally giving it a window. When you use a statement, you will basically get either a true or false based on actual truth, because your ego, and it helps with the finger pull if you close your eyes until you get really seasoned at it, because that also cuts your ego out of the equation. Strangely, I don't quite, and to be honest, I've never quite understood exactly how that works, but it does. Okay, so you muscle test, and I would say, when you're looking at any of the products in my shop, if you ever get around to looking at that stuff, you can also muscle test on like this is the right product for me, boom, 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 go through and see which ones are the ones that are going to be really useful for you and which ones are the ones that aren't going to be really useful for you. It's all very, very interesting, useful stuff to kind of be able to tune in like this, to use your body's wisdom and understanding, and your soul's wisdom and understanding, because your soul knows what it's looking at and your body can tell you, and cut your fucking ego out of the equation and see what's actually needed, basically. But so you do this for this one every day. Now, what I will say is with this piece of work, there is an action component required. Okay, when I work with one-to-one clients, and one of the reasons why this came about, obviously I was there going, I want to produce something, I want to put it on YouTube, and I want it to be helpful to the people who need it, basically. What's going to be the most helpful thing right now? And this is what landed. Okay, so I'm here doing this. Now, a job isn't going to fall out of the sky into your lap if you are not actually applying for jobs, okay? What this piece of work does, okay, if you've been on a job hunt and it's all been like, oh, nothing's going on, and this has happened, I've got clients who've experienced this when working with me. I had one client who was just like, nothing's going on, We did some work together, and literally in the space of about 3 days, she was inundated with job offers. Okay. And what the work is doing is literally clearing out everything that's stopping you from perceiving the offers and actually having them land in your awareness. Okay. If you're looking at it from the point of view of everything's happening now and everything in the world is available to you at all times, basically, if you've been looking for work and there's no job offers coming forth, it's because you are blocking that perception from being there for you. Now, this work, what it does is it sorts out your internal shit, and it might take a few layers of stripping stuff away so that you then can literally perceive and receive the job offers. So when you're running this, when you're listening to it, when I actually do the energy work and it kicks in, have a clear idea in mind. You can have a clear idea in mind of the kind of job that you want. Maybe even have a clear idea in mind of the kind of salary you'd like with the job that feels achievable to you, okay? So you don't want to like push yourself so far out of what your conscious critical faculty could allow that you're going to make it difficult for yourself. It needs to feel believable to you. Now, that could be at any fucking level. It depends on you. Okay. And then once you've listened, as soon as you get any kind of aha moments, intuitive nudges to go to a certain place, to look up to pick up a certain paper, to look online, whatever, you listen to it and you act on it. Okay. That's the action part from you. What we're doing here is we're lining up the energy so that you can receive the results that you want, that you haven't been so far. This is how this works, okay? And you might have stuff drop into your lap out of the blue, just from out of nowhere. that can happen. Don't discount the fact that that can happen, but most people aren't set up belief systems wise in such a way that they would allow that to happen. So you have to be aware of your own belief systems around this stuff, okay, and do what is feeling aligned for you that pops up as, this is the listening to your intuition part. Always very important. Listen to your intuition, especially after you've done some energy work with me or anyone else. Basically, you listen to your intuition, and when your intuition is telling you to act on something, you act on it. Whatever it is, whether it might be to go to your local pub and you end up having a conversation with someone in there who offers you a job out of the blue. You just don't know. You don't know exactly how it's going to happen. But the fact is that the opportunities are going to open up for you as a result of this. And it could be, okay, so coming into the whole kind of your soul's input, okay, because you are going to be opening up to that too through this. It could be that you start getting nudges to start your own business, and that there's something really specific to bring to the world. And it's not about being employed by other people, but it's about you bringing something to the world that's unique to you through a business. And you might start getting the internal kick up the arse, as I call it, to actually start actioning something that maybe you'd thought of as being a pipe dream, and then you put it on the back burner and gone, no, I'll do that later, or I'm a bit scared or whatever. And actually, if that's the case, then, this will clear out whatever's in the way of you kind of going, shit, I really actually need to do this thing, whatever it is. It could be that part of your path here in this lifetime, one of the things you wanted to experience was some kind of business or entrepreneurial venture. And, there's no time like the present. And this is going to connect you with that kind of rocket up the arse, as it were, to actually step forwards and do the thing that you have been studiously avoiding. Okay, so have some awareness of all of this. And like I said, come back and watch this as many times as you need to. Maybe it takes 10 runs over the course of 10 days. It could be it takes 10 runs over the course of 5 days. It's going to be individual to you. You will feel a lot of energy moving around, but yeah, afterwards muscle test yourself on, I'm going to need to run this again. That was it, just one and done is good. Basically just work with it that way. Okay, bookmark it, stick it on your liked videos list so you can come back to it, because YouTube does that. If you're watching this on Facebook or somewhere else, obviously you can save it. I am likely to put this on Facebook too, but I've made this primarily for YouTube. And I was going to say, if you want to see me talking about all sorts of other things as well, and I do the odd video like this where I specifically ask for something very specific that I can put into my channel that will help people with whatever might be a tricky situation in the collective at the current time, basically, so that there's a bit of a leg up for people who are struggling, because we all have that occasionally, and it's quite nice to feel like you're not completely unsupported by life, right? Subscribe to my channel. Anyhow, having said all of that, okay, I want you to make yourself nice and comfortable. You can sit or lie down. I always think that lying down is good. I'm not going to lie down, because if I lay down, I'd be on the kitchen floor here, which wouldn't be very useful. Okay. Closing your eyes, taking some nice big deep breaths in and out. In and out. And we'll begin. I actually called this one Job Magnet, but in the title it's called Job Finder, because I think it's more accurate to kind of what might be required of you as an action step to help gel all the pieces together. And I am actually going to say as well, whilst this is running, that there's links and information below this video in the little drop down box, so go and check those out. I've put a PayPal me link in there for anyone who wants to, if you do land your dream job, feel free to come back and send a gesture of appreciation for the work contained within, you know. No obligation, obviously, but it's good to be open to receiving where people are willing to, you know, see the value of what you provided. So that'll be in there. There's also a link to my digital shop, a link to my Facebook stuff, various different things, a general link to my website, and probably some other bits and bobs too, but I haven't written it yet because obviously I'm only making the video at the moment. Whew. I can definitely feel there's a lot of stuff being cleared out in my sacral area. That's the sacral area for women, is like the creation zone. It's also root 2, which is all about stability, security, including financial security. So I know that those of you who haven't managed to find a job yet, there's obviously been some blockages going on in these areas. And it's funny, even though I'm recording this as a video, when I do these, basically what's happening is I'm doing the work with you, and you watching this is basically you flipping that switch to actually receive it. So I feel what's going on with you, even though I'm only making a recording. It's the same when I do audio recordings too. I always feel things moving around in different places, and when I work with clients one-to-one as well, I feel this. I quite often, when I'm working with clients one-to-one, I quite often burp quite a lot too. That's one of the ways I process energy. I sound like a bullfrog when that happens. And I will actually just also drop in that you may feel stuff continuing to run after this finishes for me on this video, and if that's the case, just allow the rest of it. It won't matter that the video's ended. You can just allow it, and then you might want to nap afterwards. You probably want to drink a decent amount of water, because your body will start flushing stuff out, because when we're shifting things, it's happening within your energy field, within your energy bodies, within your chakras, within your cells, okay? All parts of you, all layers, all levels, all parts, okay? So you'll feel it in your body too, in various different places. You might feel tingling in your feet towards the end. That's always a sign. When your foot chakras start tingling, it's a sign that there's forwards movement is about to happen in your life. There you go, one burp. That was quite subdued for me. Literally, our bodies are barometers of what's going on with us energetically. And oh boy, like sacral area at the back, there's like literally, I can feel like fear energy that's like quite deeply embedded, that's being removed for probably most of you who watch this. Fear and uncertainty, I'm getting insecurity, lack of trust. See, lack of trust is a biggie. You have to be able to A, trust your intuition, and B, trust that you can not only create but receive the things that actually serve your highest good. And we've been put into, I didn't say we've been put into, we've managed to create a climate on this planet with the way that we live and the way that we've become so disconnected from ourselves, where we distrust our intuition, and where we distrust our ability to create as powerfully as we are actually capable of creating when we are in alignment. Most people at the moment that I meet are walloped right out of whack I say most people I meet in real life, that's not the case, but people I see online, there's a lot of people I see online on social media who are definitely, there's massive amounts of imbalance going on. And that imbalance doesn't serve you or the world, indeed, basically. So it's good to actually fucking understand this. I was going to say, for those of you who want to like take one step on from this one, I've actually just put up a piece of work called Alchemy, which is like this one but with huge massive bells on, basically. That's like a full-on course in one go. That's like a self-discovery, alchemization, transformational tool that you can use as a course. I think actually would be a great recommendation for those of you who are kind of watching this. I think some of you will probably really benefit from it, so you can check that out, and obviously muscle test. If you get a big fat yes on it, you know what to do, basically. Whew. Five more minutes on this. Sometimes it's like hearing a countdown in my head. It's kind of funny. Ooh, so much to shift. Okay, 4 more minutes. I'm counting. If we get to the end of the 4 minutes and I finish up all of this and it's still going, like I said, don't worry about it. That just means you've just got to take a bit longer to process it, and it probably means that you've got some programming or some coding going on inside of you in various different levels that makes it literally like slows down your ability to receive and to process. Yeah. It's all down to the programming. If we have been conditioned and trained into believing that things take a long time, stuff's hard work and blah de blah de blah, then when you receive energy work, it's going to really draw it out. So I think that there's a component in here actually that to make all of this easy rather than struggle filled. Am I correct? Yeah. Okay. So ease and grace. Ease and grace are the watchwords with this one. So that programming around the whole subject of jobs will be sorted out for you. And you'll notice that in terms of your thoughts around it, because actually as this works, it's going to start to shift your neural pathways too. My work doesn't just work with, it is like all layers, all levels. And sometimes if there's one layer that needs dealing with specifically because there's a lot going on, basically that'll be one lesson, and you come back and do another lesson and you'll feel it moving around in your head. But yeah, it's a good demonstration of how my digital work works. When I work with people one-to-one, it's a bit different to this because I tend to go in on all angles with all sorts of things all at once. So it's more powerful than this. Whew. Another burp. Aren't you guys lucky? Well, that's done. Okay, if it's still running for you, just allow it to carry on in the background. And like I said, you might decide you need a nap. It might be, when we clear out all this stuff, sometimes it's like our bodies actually really need sleep time afterwards to actually process and integrate everything. So if you need a nap, have a nap, drink plenty of water, eat the foods that your body's asking you to eat. Always eat intuitively, it's a good idea. Okay. There's nothing else I really wanted to add to any of this. Like I said, all the links below this video. If you land yourself the best job in the world ever after working with this one properly, then do feel free to send me a gesture of appreciation via my PayPal account. But yeah, links underneath. Yeah. And I will say I'm sending you all lots and lots of love. And yeah, don't forget, follow the internal nudges, okay? Listen to your intuition. You will have a clearer connection with your intuition around this whole job subject as a result of working with this piece of work, okay? So it's up to you to join the dots with that. You know, if you're not going out into the world, you say you want a job, but you're not going out into the world and you're not looking on the internet and you're not talking to people, then you're going to make it damn sight harder for you to actually connect with that job. Okay, it's about opening up so that the opportunities can land with you. Okay, mwah. Lots of love to all of you. Bye for now.